This is the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 24th of January. I'm James Spann. Things are nice and calm today after another deadly tornado outbreak for the state early yesterday. I thought we'd go back and look at some of the tracks being investigated by the Weather Service. What you're looking at here, this is the look at the mesocyclones as tracked by radar. This was put together by Greg Carbon of the Storm Prediction Center. And this is not saying these are all tornadoes. These are just mesocyclone tracks where there could have been tornado activity. And the surveys are ongoing. Specifically in our state, we're looking really at three areas. The tornado through parts of Tuscaloosa County and Jefferson County. And again, the damage in Tuscaloosa County is yet to be assessed. I say tornado. Based on our Skywatchers reports, I do believe there was a smaller tornado there. And, of course, in Jefferson, the damage peaked out in the Clay Center Point area, and that was confirmed to be EF3 by the Weather Service. And then down south, we got the Maplesville tornado, and that survey should be done today. We don't have it back yet. And down to the south, there was another area that's going to be investigated over parts of Autauga and Elmore counties. But the death toll at this point is 3, and those are 3 lives too many. And, again, we'll be looking at this event in coming days and months and years. This is and I drew this. This is just an estimation. The Weather Service has not come out with their track yet on the tornado that came through Jefferson, but it was about like that. We had 1 death out around Oak Grove, Toadvine Road, and then it cut out across Interstate 65 around Fultondale, and then the really bad stuff was out there around Center Point and Trussville and Grayson Valley and Clay. And again, we mourn the lives of those that were lost. But considering the fact that it was an EF3 in the middle of the night in the pre-dawn hours, it could have been worse. All right, Skycam shots this morning. That's the Tuscaloosa Skycam, nice and quiet. That's from the county courthouse looking down on Lurleen B. Wallace Boulevard. There's a shot coming from Inverness off the Wingate Inn on Highway 280. And down in Clanton, boy, they are fortunate. It had that horrible damage in Maplesville. That thing came right down Highway 22 and perhaps got off the ground, and there was no damage in the city of Clanton. And it looked really bad for a while for them. All right, things are calming out this morning, but we're watching that new trough already to the west over the southwest that will bring the next round of organized rain and storms Thursday and Thursday night. And, hey, it's colder this morning. Upper 30s and low 40s. The cold spot, Haleyville, they're down to 33. Oxford, Mississippi is down to 30. But we warm right back up. Again, this pattern does not favor any long-lasting shot of cold air. We've talked about here for a long time. Around the nation, I'd say it's seasonal this morning, seasonal to above average. Certainly not as cold over Canada as it's been. Here's our watch warning map. Some dense fog issues to the east and even down into southeast Alabama. High winds over Montana. Winter weather advisory for some of the southern Rockies. But again, things are pretty quiet. But these are the maps we always watch. The convective outlook, the severe weather threat. This is today. The standard slight risk over parts of South Texas. Ahead of that trough. Tomorrow, for Wednesday, a slight risk over southeastern Texas and parts of Louisiana. And day 3, this is Thursday and Thursday night. The guys at SPC have defined the standard risk, the slight risk, over about the southern half of Alabama, really south of a line from near Demopolis to, let's say, Prattville to Dothan. And again, we'll just kind of watch parameters, and we're going to talk about that in a minute in full detail. If you're new to these videos, we dig deep. But up this way, no risk on Thursday. And then there's the rain for the next 5 days, and that's some good rain for Texas. They could use that. This is valid through Saturday evening at 6 o'clock. Over 4 inches, perhaps, around Tyler and Longview, Texas. And amounts here, not bad, maybe 1 to 2 inches, and that rain is going to be pretty heavy. And one thing we'll have to watch for maybe is flash flooding Thursday and Thursday night. All right, this is the GFS, the Global Forecast System. This is computer model output, and we'll explain what all this means. We're about 18,000 feet off the ground. We've got that deep trough in the southwest. It is detached from the northern branch, really. And down below that, nice day today, sunny with mid-60s. It's going to be good. Now, tomorrow, the trough is progressive. It's around the Davis Mountains of southwest Texas, and down below that, rain and storms over the Lone Star State of Texas. Around here, clouds will increase. We have a south wind. It turns warmer. I think we hit 70 tomorrow. Clouds, and again, maybe a shower by afternoon. But Thursday, this is our day for wet weather. The trough, again, is still over Texas, but we are in that diffluent flow. And again, this is not a phased trough like we had the other night. It's not the same in any way. Down below that on Thursday at midday, storms probably to the west. Thursday night at midnight, that's going to be a soaker there, rain and storms. And the rain could be pretty heavy. And then midday Friday, the trough continues to push onto the east, and the rain tapers off, ending early Friday morning. Now let's look at some of the severe weather parameters for Thursday evening. This is Thursday evening at 6 o'clock local time. This is instability or buoyancy, the ability of air parcels to rise freely. And the surface-based capes are 500 or less, about 500 here. And the really good instabilities are in the Gulf, and so that's marginal. Now, this is helicity, the veering of the wind with altitude in relation to storm motion. Where are the higher values? Southwest Alabama. And that's the reason the guys at SPC have the risk down there. The amounts are much lower up here. And this is the EHI, the Energy Helicity Index, and this kind of combines all of that. And there's some pretty good numbers down there. That EHI of 2 is very significant down there at Gulf Shores and Pensacola. So if we have organized severe weather Thursday or Thursday night, the better chance would sure seem to be down south over the southern half of the state. But having said that, we always have to watch it, and we will. All right, look at Saturday as we get into the weekend. It starts to cool down a bit. The 540 thickness line drops down to the Tennessee Valley, and highs drop into the 50s, where we should be for this time of the year. And there's Sunday. The GFS is showing a high of 53. And the weekend will be dry. Sunny weather on Saturday and Sunday. Pretty cold mornings, freeze likely both Saturday and Sunday morning, a light freeze. And same thing Monday. We'll start the day probably in the upper 20s. The high will be in the 50s. Sunny, no issues. So dry weather for the weekend and into early next week. And there's Tuesday, a week from today. Moisture starts to increase to the west. That means probably the next chance of showers about the middle of next week. All right, let's check deeper into February as we start the new month. And ooh, look at that. Wow, this is the 6th of February, a big trough over the east, big ridge over the west, and it is cold. For all those people asking, where's winter? Well, there you go. That'll get us cold. And look at this. On the 8th, it hangs in there. The trough is still there. The cold air is still there. But again, this is the chart we look at. This is the North Atlantic Oscillation. And up there at the top, those red lines, these are ensemble members of the GFS, and really get it cold down here for a while. You want to see that those red lines go below that neutral line, below the zero line. And, as we get into the new month, a couple of the members try and do that, but there's no big spike down there. But it's clearly trending lower. Understand it's been very positive here. That's the reason it's been so warm. But as it trends down toward that neutral line, I clearly think we're going to see some pretty decent cold snaps next month. Will they last long? Maybe not, but again, I think if we get a big winter weather issue threat this year, it's going to be late season. So stay tuned, snow fans. Now, that's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 3:30 or so today. And if you live around here, and a lot of you do, we invite you to watch us on television this evening. That's ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
The first thing you've got to understand, you cannot rely on an outdoor siren. You cannot hear those inside a home, a building, a church. It won't work. You've got to get something inside your house. That's a weather radio or maybe a smartphone app. We work with a company that's developed a wonderful weather radio app for Android phones and iPhones. It knows where you are, and if you're in a tornado warning polygon, you get the warning. And if you're not, you don't. It's an effective device, and it's a great way to be sure you get the warning.